Hi, it's Adair Palmer here. I've got a special webinar for you tonight. I put together the top 10 things that I think you can do to use groups for your business. And this, because it's a bit dark, I think we've got a bit of a grainy video, so I'm just going to share screens and get straight into it so you don't have to look at me for too long. But here we go. Okay. Let's go. Sharing screen. Okay, now here we go. This is really quite exciting. Facebook groups. I did one of these a while back, and what? Oh dear, we're going too far. Too far. Okay, let's get back to one. Okay, I did one of these a while back, and then somewhere there were some gremlins that ended up eating all my work. So I've redone it, and I wanted to share it with you tonight, fresh off the press again, which has got some extra ideas added to it, which is great. All right, so why Facebook groups? Now, there are literally millions and millions of groups, and they come in all shapes and sizes and all niches, all genres. So I would imagine whatever group you are interested in, whatever industry you are interested in, there is a Facebook group for that. So you've heard the term, there's an app for that, or there's now a Facebook group for that. The different groups that you can get, there's three different sorts. There are public groups which are open to the public, which means that everybody can see the membership of the group and everybody can see the posts that get posted into the group. So you can when you're joining a public group, it still has to be approved by an admin, or it can be approved by another member of the group depending on the group settings. But you still have to have your membership approved, but everything is all quite open and quite public. The difference between that and the closed groups is that with closed groups, while you can see that the group exists, you can see the membership and the admin of the group, you can't see what's been posted in the group until you apply to join and become approved as a member of that group. The secret groups are groups that only you and the people that are in the groups know are there on Facebook. So they cannot be searched. The membership is not visible. So the secret groups, and I'll talk a little bit about the sorts of things that you can do with secret groups, because they are quite valuable to know about and can be used in some really cool ways to actually grow your biz, which is really quite an interesting concept, being that everything is usually about being open and having everything open so people can see. But this all shall become clear as we go on. Now, another reason for being engaged in Facebook groups is to reach people that you aren't connected with through your personal profile. Now, I'm a member of several different groups. The biggest one that I'm a member of has about 55,000 members in it. So, and at this stage, I'm actually not aware of any limitations that are put on group numbers. So you can have in your group, or if you have a group, you can have your groups as big as what the demand is for your groups, which is great. But if you haven't and you want to reach other people, you can join other groups and you can find people in those niche areas that you're interested in or that you want to work in, and you can reach people that you can't normally, that you're not normally connected to. So it's a brilliant idea for doing that. Now, another reason to use Facebook groups is to become a thought leader. So what does that mean? It means that you can comment in groups, you can share information, you can add value into groups, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. It's one of the dot points I have, one of the points I have, the 10 ways to use Facebook groups to grow your biz. And adding value, again, that is sharing things, sharing information, sharing your thoughts that add value to other people's lives and to their businesses. So that's it's a wonderful way to be able to do that. And just on that, recently there was a post in a group, business group recently, where someone had offered to share someone else's webinar on a particular topic to do with social media. Now, from memory, she got dozens and dozens of requests. So what she said was, if you want a copy of this webinar, please leave me your email address and I'll make sure you get it. It wasn't a webinar that she had done, but clearly the value and the demand was there, because the response she got was the biggest response. I think there was there was a couple of hundred. I have to go back and check, but it seemed like there were hundreds or dozens and dozens of people that said, yes, here's my email address. Yes, I want the copy of the webinar. So I'm going to try that very thing with this webinar, and we'll see if that works in a similar way, because I think the demand is there when you can give good information and useful, valuable information, which I'm doing and I will be doing in this webinar. Okay, you can find your niche very easily in groups. So when you're searching, you can look for things that are actually going to be, whether you're a dog lover or you write songs for animals that have passed away, or poetry, or whether you're a network marketer, or whether you are a underwater basket weaver. You can find your niche very, very easily. There's so many groups out there. It is just so easy to find your niche and to be able to work in that niche. My prediction is there are big things coming for groups and Facebook chat, messenger chat. That's another topic that I want to do some more webinars and some more live stuff on in the future, because I think that's going to be very, very, very big. But I think groups are the way of the future, and I can see that there's going to be a lot of really interesting, fun things that you can be able to use Facebook groups for in your business. So, but today, as of today, this is what we're looking at. Now, to sell stuff, number one. Now, this is the buy, sell, swap groups are popping up all over the place, because the classified ads, they're sort of like the classifieds. And I guess with the one of the drawbacks with that is that because people keep posting, it will go down the timeline, and your stuff, unless you go back in and bump it up, it does tend to go down the timeline. And if you're posting it when people aren't looking, you may miss it. They may miss it, and it seems to be a little bit harder than the normal classifieds in terms of searching and in terms of ways of getting people to their eyes on the stuff that you want to sell. So, but what I will show you, if I can do this, I'm going to go to my home, and I'm just going to show you, and yes, it was my birthday yesterday, so I want to show you the sale group. So if you haven't seen this already, ta-da, sale groups near you. Now what it does is it pops up a map on here. Don't know if you can see this, or you're still looking at I've got two screens going here, so hang on, we might have to, how am I going to do this? Let me just, I actually think you might be looking at the other screen, so pop this over here just to make sure that we're looking at the same one, okay? And the sales, if you haven't seen this before, it's really quite exciting, because if you're into sales, whatever it is that you're doing, if you do buy, sell, swap, I do a product for a company that's around skincare and supplements, and I find some of these groups are really, really useful for actually moving product. Some of the groups are okay for a lot of it is secondhand stuff like trash and treasure and classifieds, that type of thing. But really, if you have a product, or if you're looking to to get information out. One of the things that I have done in the past in these buy sell swap groups is to advertise the workshops that I run for social media for small business owners, and that's had some response as well. So being consistent here is really important. So that's, and I think it's really exciting because this is a reasonably new feature where you can actually search, you can do the redo search. So this is clearly a lot of baby groups. I've sent a request. Baby bargains, like garage sales. There's 10,000 people in that group, so there's quite a few people that you can reach when you are looking to get into the buy sell swap group. So that's a really, really useful thing to know is there, and because it brings it to you, you don't even have to go search it like it's geographic. You can pick another geographic location, and Facebook will show you where all the buy sell swap groups are in that location. So it's really quite handy to, there we go, really quite handy to know that little trick. So if you just go into your sale groups down here on your menu on this side, then you'll be able to see the searches, that they'll just come up automatically. And as you join the groups, Facebook will populate it with more groups, and you can just scroll through here and you can see different groups that are there, and you can join different groups as well. So they're quite substantial groups. Here's 8,000, so there's 1,800 here. So it depends on what you're looking for as to which ones you join. So just have a look at the groups, go look through them, have a look at the description of the group. Some of them might not be appropriate, so you might just go, well, that's not something that is going to be beneficial for you or your business. So just keep that in mind, and just choose the groups, the ones that you think will be beneficial for you. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, so we're back to the location. We've covered that. We've covered the niche areas, easy to target niche areas. So you can do a search in the group sections of any groups, any topics or any industries that you're looking at, and Facebook will show you the groups that have those those niche and the industries in them. The groups near you, we've had a look at those. Oh yeah, with the buy sell swap ones, what you can do is you can submit to several groups at once. So if you've got a something happening, which is what I did when I did the Facebook workshop advertising, and I would pick the groups that I would submit to, and most of them I'd already contacted the admins and said, look, is it okay if I advertise this? Those ones were mainly things like community notice boards and some of the buy sell swap ones, but I had to pick them fairly carefully. So if you're doing advertising for workshops or events, just make sure that you suss them out a bit first. But if you are doing something like a product, like I did with this product we have called Instantly Ageless, I just put it onto the several groups at once because it was one product and people could buy it, and then I would be able to post it to them. So that was really quite easy to be able to submit one product to several groups at once, which was fantastic. Always connect with the admins. Now, I mentioned it before. If you're not sure, connect with the admins, especially if what you want to do is slightly outside of what would be considered normal posting for that group. Some admins have said, no, you can't post, or that's outside the guidelines. But I've found that majority of people, if you do make contact with them, if you do explain who you are, develop a bit of a relationship, and then say, when you're ready to post, to say, hey, remember me, is it okay if I post in your group? Most times they will be okay. And I think if you try and work out what the group is about and try and keep your posts to as close as possible to what they are looking for, they're usually okay. And as a group owner, one of the things that I really, really dislike is that when people join my group and they just post crap, don't even bother to um, read what it is that the group's about and what the guidelines are. And I've had to be a bit stern with a couple of people. Most people are okay, but there is the one or two that spoil it for the rest of them. So don't be one of those one or two people. Okay, beautiful. Now, another thing you can do with your groups is you can complement your online or face-to-face training workshops. Now, I'm part of a group run by John Assaraf, the NeuroGym group, and I've done his online course. And what that does, and there's several others as well that I'm part of, but this one in particular has got a great group, and I think it's secret actually, but the group is there for collaboration, it's there for support, it's there for accountability. Now, accountability is a really, really useful thing to use, like tool. The group would be a great tool to use to hold yourself accountable for these types of online training. You can use the files. So what the beauty about the files is when you upload a document, people can add to that, people can alter that, and it actually shows you who's contributed what, when it was edited. So there's a few little features around that particular function around the files and documents that could be useful when you're doing some collaboration, which is good. Using the videos, you can post videos in the group. You can use that section for supplementary training for people if that's what you'd like to do. So that's always useful. Group chats in the group. So if you've got a group of people and you want to reach them all at once, you can actually do a group chat. So you can select all or part of few of the group members in the group, and you can and send them a chat message all at the same time if you have the same information that you'd like to get out to them. The only thing about that is Messenger, and I'm finding it may just be me or it may be other people as well, but group chats at this point in time are usually seen as a bit of spam. And what happens when people do group chats is it's like, I'll just, you are the most wonderful and loving mother or, person, and hold your finger on this and forward to 15 people. And so what they do is people will do that, and then they'll add 15 people to this particular post. And that just becomes annoying because when people, you get notifications and your phone's just pinging or there's people, it's not that useful information. So if you're doing a group chat, make sure the information is going to be of value to all of the people that you include in the chat. Give them the option to leave the conversation. Please, please, please tell them how to do it. I found this out the hard way. You can really piss people off if you don't show them how they can leave a conversation, but you can also invite people to participate in the conversation. So that's really useful as well. Now, again, encouraging participation of group members. Now, that is something that I would like to see you as group members or as group owners to encourage, whether whatever you're doing and whichever group that you're in, because the more that people interact in groups, the bigger and better and more valued groups will be. So, there really is no point having a group that's just sort of sitting there and, you can hear the crickets chirping, because, it's not going to benefit anybody. So just if you have some responsibility to take, to be at cause for contributing into groups as much as you possibly can, then that would be a good thing to do. Now, let's just see what have we got here. Customer or client only groups. I think I touched on this a few times in subsequent slides. You could have a secret or closed group, and what this does is it makes people feel quite special, especially if they're part of a group that have been invited to be around a particular service or a particular product. You can give people personalized attention then. And I have a group for my anti-aging skincare supplements products that I do, and I do like to offer whatever specials that we have going. I like to offer them to that group first so that they do know that they are the ones that are getting the attention. They are the ones that are getting offered whatever's coming out. They're going to be the first to know, and it does make people feel a bit special. You can also get feedback on services and products, and testimonials as well. And you can do that in customer or client only groups. And if you do that, there's also an opportunity to upsell, which I haven't got on there, but you can upsell in that group as well once you've established a relationship and trust and value, adding value. Here's the one I referred to earlier, becoming a thought leader in your niche or your niches if you have a few different areas like I do. Now, if you are using Facebook Live, or if you're not using Facebook Live, I'd fully encourage it. And I've done a couple of videos on using Facebook Live and repurposing Facebook Live. They are on my page, my Facebook social media for small business owners page, but they're also in the video section of my group. What I did was, when I recorded them live and I broadcasted live, and then I put the video in my group on the video page, but I also put it on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Facebook Classes, so check that out too if you would like to. But use Facebook Live and do it regularly. Now, I've been aiming for once a week, but if you can do it a couple of times a week, that would be wonderful. And because Facebook Live actually does promote the Facebook algorithms ramp up when you go live on Facebook, and what they do is they give you a far, far greater organic reach than what you would have if you just had a video that you'd put up on your page. Video is good, it always gets a greater reach, but going live, Facebook is, because it's a new thing to Facebook wants to get it out, and now is the time to get yourself, it's an opportunity to catapult yourself into the thought leader arena using Facebook Live. So when you do it on your page. I understand it is available in some groups. I haven't seen it on mine yet, but that doesn't mean it's not there, because it can pop up overnight or in a nanosecond. So I've been keeping an eye out for it. I do know that it's come onto your personal profile, so you're able to get Facebook Live on your personal profiles now. But I still haven't seen it in groups, but it doesn't mean you can't do it on your business page or your personal profile and then pop it into your group. So, but it won't be live in your group, but it will be on your page. Adding value, helping people with their problems. That's what you use the Facebook Live for. Is when you're interacting with your clients and your customers, and you're identifying that there are issues, when you hear them say things, when they ask questions, file it in the back of your mind and find some really creative ways to help them with their problems, and they'll love you for it. Offering free value-added services and product is another way of attracting people into your business and your groups, and you can do that through your pages, your page or your personal profile, and get people to join you in your group. Invite them to the group. Give them as much value and as much that, as much value as you possibly can, and keep adding value and adding value. Keep developing the relationships, and you will find that your customers will be and your clients will be loyal, and they will stick with you. Connect with people on a level that is real. This is really important because social media is just that. It is social. People want to see the real you. So this is me without makeup. Don't worry about me, just look at the content because that's far more exciting. But people want to see the real you. People want to see the authentic you. They don't want to see the facade that we've sort of grown up, particularly my age group, we're growing up in, that you know, sort of when you go to work in the corporate world or in the government world, business world, you leave your real self behind and you take your business persona to work. And I've sort of come to the realization that everywhere I go, there I am. Hello. And that is quite refreshing because it actually lets you be completely yourself. It means that you can bring all of you into the space where you are genuinely acting out from an authentic position and acting in integrity and helping people as much as you can, which means that they feel like they're connecting with them, and you're not doing it for any reason other than to connect with people and to build relationships. And I think that's invaluable. That's absolutely invaluable. Creating your own group and building your tribe. Now, this is something that is absolutely possible, and indeed every person has an opportunity to build their tribe and to create their own group and to invite people into it. Every industry has something that somebody wants, whether you're a car salesman or in insurance, or whether you're a masseuse or a yoga instructor or whatever you do, there's always going to be something there's going to be a group of people that want what you have and want the information that you have. And if you do this in such a way that it adds immense value, then you can build your tribe, you can be part of other people's tribes, you can be a connector, you can network, and you can just enhance people's lives through the power of this social media. You can contribute to other groups in complementary industries. Now, again, that's being part of the thought leader strategy that you are looking at. You can do things like, let me think, helping people in, say, I do the hypnotherapy, and I have people that I'm connected with that are in Reiki and others in metaphysical, different things. So, and I always contribute to those groups wherever I can and where possible. There's a lot of business groups that I do try and contribute to, or even just asking questions and giving other people an opportunity to contribute is useful, I think, for those groups and for the industries that are involved. Now, customer feedback collection. Some of the things that you can do with groups in this space is you can test out new ideas. So if you've got an idea for a new widget or a gadget or a service, you can ask people who are your customers. So if you've got a few people, like we said, and I think it was slide 3 that we talked about having customer the customers like feedback, you can actually having a customer group, sorry, you can use that to get good feedback and test new ideas. You can start a think tank with new customers or clients. So if there's things that you particularly want to have thrashed out, processes or services that you think would be useful, you can do that here with your customers. You can focus on a particular issue, so you can set up little groups where you can have people discussing or unpacking one particular issue that are going to help you serve them better if you get their ideas on board. You can ask your customers or your clients to help you with strategy for future directions. So you can give them options. You can say, if they're people, if there were services delivered or developed in these areas, would you be interested? If there are products developed around this, would you be interested? Or is there something that I'm not doing that you would like me to do? So people having an opportunity to have their input mostly do appreciate it, and sometimes you find that you get lots of really good information, and there's always one or two real gems in there if you look through it and take it all on board. Using the poll section, again, that's around the looking at the strategy sessions, or you can just do the snap polls for customer feedback. One of the things that I like about doing the polls, and I have actually done polls in other people's groups as well, but I've always asked them first. But one of the beauties about the way the polls are designed is that you can actually ask people to put their own categories, I think it's called, or their own things to vote on. So if you said the top three and you've got 5 things there, then they can go, well, that's actually none of those, I don't like those. So they can put up a couple of their own. There might be some things that you overlook. So that's really useful as well. So you can get people interacting in the polls, and you can get them engaged, and you can get them contributing both to the voting but also to the criteria that they vote on as well. Now, number 6, doing great customer service. And there's a guy called Jay Baer he's written a book called Hug Your Haters. And he says that customer service is now a spectator sport, and especially with Facebook and the advent of social media. Now, what I would suggest is that if you really look after your customers, make them feel special, make them feel loved, if they are grumpy, then you can sort it out with them in a group, and it sort of heads off a real public angst if you can, because you're always nurturing them, you're always looking after them. You can use contact form, or you can encourage individual contact through Messenger, Facebook Messenger. And again, like I said, that's the next big thing to go off. So watch this space, because I'm really excited about some of the stuff that's happening in that space. If they're part of a secret group, then they really do feel special, and they feel like that they are special customers. So you might reserve that for customers who actually reach a level, they might buy your premium service, and you can actually make them part of a secret group, however you want to design it. But whatever it does is to make these people feel special, nurtured, and the relationships to grow. They will feel they can be first to see the new services and products, and if you link that in with the previous slide, they can see the services and products that they have had a hand in developing, which actually makes it even more special for these people to have the recognition and to be able to be the first to try this stuff out because they've helped develop it, which I think would give them a real sense of importance and achievement to be able to be part of this type of developmental, sort of services that you're doing. You can give them options and opportunities to give you instant feedback, and you can actually address negative reviews by doing the great customer service in the groups. Now, number 7 is a little bit unusual, but you can actually support event speakers. Now, this is for online and or live events, and well, live events can be online as well, but like face-to-face events. What you can do is you can manage many speakers or just a few. Now, I'm in the process actually now of doing a workshop, a seminar where there's 4 of us on the organising committee, and 5 of us on the organising committee, and 4 of us are actually participating as speakers in this event. We're doing a seminar on the law of attraction, and what I've done for that is I've created a secret group. Now, the secret group says, actually, let's just see if I can show you that group. So this is a secret group, and what I do here, because we're organising the whole thing, we're going to be on this paddle boat on it says May, but it's actually September 2016. And what we've done is we've got ideas, we've got files. So it's one portal, one spot where we can get all of our information, content creation, wording for adverts, marketing, some flyers, running sheet for script. We had an advert done, which was really cool. There's places to advertise. So we all get information about what it is that's expected of us. We all get opportunity to have input. We've got this one portal where all the docs are. Events we have here, Zoom to discuss marketing. So these are the sorts of things that we have done. So it's just a great little place to organise a particular event and organise the speakers. So it really, really works well if people are committed to using it. So just keep that in mind. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool to actually use for your organising for different things that you are doing. So that's really, really useful. I do find that wonderful. Now, masterminding new ideas, keeping it small and boutique in your niche area. Another thing that I did was I set up a micro experiment, and that one, let's see if I can find that. Social media small. Okay, so this one here, this again is a secret group, and sorry, it's closed, it's not secret, but there are very few members in this group, and add people as we go along. But this is for a micro experiment, and this micro experiment talks about pages. It talks about interacting in groups, interacting on business pages. So what we're doing is we're testing. We've got micro experiment, we've got a group of people in there, and we've got videos. I've done videos that say this is how we're going to run the experiment, and then when we do it for a week, and then new people come on and we do it for another week, and then we have a debrief and keep improving as we go. And you can do that I'd actually love to do one for groups, and I'm in the process of setting that up and getting people to interact in groups, and also to do micro experiments and to see if the groups will be able to expand and get more interaction, because it's the same, seems to be similar as in pages. If you get more interaction on them, the more interaction you get, the more interaction you get. So it's a similar thing with pages as it is with groups, or the other way around. But anyway, so that's another thing that I've set up this little micro experiment to do, is to test and to just keep things moving forward in Facebook groups for small business. But you can do this with your business as well, and you can do just to get new ideas. Again, you can do it with colleagues if you want to set up something that might be like a joint venture, and you want to just throw some ideas around about how it might work, what it might look like. Go for it. Just go for this and mastermind it, and just have a little secret or a closed group where you have invitation only, and you can bring people in as you need them, and people can come in and move out of the groups, and it doesn't matter. It's just one of those organic things that can happen, and masterminding is just a wonderful way to use groups to do masterminds, and you actually capture the ideas on documents in the file sections and on videos and even in the comment section. But I would suggest that using documents is probably a better way to go than the comments, because the comments tend to slide down the news feed and you lose them. So just keep that in mind. Communicating with your team is really using Facebook groups is a great way. Again, I'm a member of a global business, and there's literally hundreds of thousands of people globally that are part of this organisation, and the Australian team is several thousand strong. So we have the larger team, the global team, we have the larger team, and these are all groups, separate groups, and then we have the sub-teams. So they're not groups within groups, but they're teams that have been set up by the group leaders from the different teams. And so we each have our own groups as we grow our own teams. And so it can be a little bit confusing at first, but once you get the hang of where it all sits and where people fit within the scheme of things, it's actually not that bad. And it's a really great way to get information going, the flow of information going, and to ask questions and to keep up to date with things like product knowledge and conferences and all that type of thing. You can have team chats, so you can have open all of the people that are relevant in a particular chat that are in your team through the group, which works really well. The information flow that comes through, if it's consistent and timely, if it's given to everybody, that's where the value of this communication is. So you're not actually doing Chinese whispers, you're telling everybody at one point in time, which is really, really cool. Okay, now here we go. Creating events. We're on the home stretch now. We are when you do this, is a bit of an added extra, because it's not about using groups for business, but what you can do is use the events function in your group for your business. So a lot of businesses do have events. You might have webinars or seminars or workshops or conferences or whatever it is you do, because part of the getting it out is to connect with people. So for knowledge and information based business owners, this is particularly useful, because you will be creating events. Again, whether they're online or face-to-face, it doesn't matter. You can do this from your groups. So create your events, and you can do it from someone else's groups, depending on their settings. But again, please ask, don't just go and do it. Most people would be okay. The thing with groups and creating events is you can invite up to 500 people. And if you have co-organisers on your event list, the people that they know, they can invite as well. So so you can literally have thousands of people invited to particular events, and they can be sorted by geographic location, which is really cool, or they could be sorted by interest area. Now this is going to depend on who you have in your group, and when you start to invite people, who you have on your how you've popped them into you can invite people from your personal profile as well. And when you do your subdividing or your segmenting your friends list on your personal profile, you can do them by geographical area or by interest as well. So that's really useful. And then each person who's involved in creating the event or the being in the event, you leave it open so people can invite other people, and you can actually get quite a big number of people interested and engaged and aware of your event. The other thing with events is a little bit outside the scope of this, but just remember that if you create an event, people want to know about it. People will see it when it comes up, when you've created it, and then it will go, and they won't see it again. Well, not that I know of, and I don't think Facebook actually just picks it up and throws it out there again close to the event unless you boost the post. So one of the ways that you can keep getting that event just climbing into the news feed is to keep having a dialogue around it. So if you've got some sort of plan when you put your event up, then you can go, let's just have a bit of a dialogue about what's so special about the speaker, or are there several speakers, and what are their specialities, and what sort of, you can sort of do little teasers and let them out in little areas where, so you can tease people along and get them interested, and you can do that by doing consistent posts and consistent updates in the event's discussion, and that actually keeps that event high on the news feed and keeps it going, so that it just doesn't slide off the radar. So people tend to forget because we're all so busy, and we've also got such a lot of things, so many things happening, and if it's up there and it's up on the radar, then people do remember and do remember and do remember, and when it comes time to go to the event is here, it's like, oh yes, that's right, I'm going to that. So it's not like, oh dear, I'd forgotten all about that. The girls who do that particularly well are Kirsty and Courts from Smart Chicks, and they had a brilliant bunch of smart chicks at an event between Christmas and New Year. And one of the things that I saw with that was they just kept posting and posting, and it was like, so excited about this, and letting out little teasers, and that's where I got the idea from. So thanks, Kirsty and Courts, that was well done. And that actually meant that there were that when it came to the day of the event, I'd been watching. It's almost like I'd been having it drip fed, or spoon fed to me over the preceding week or a couple of weeks, and because there'd been comments most days, and I knew it was coming up, and I didn't forget it, and it was firmly in my mind, and there was lots of reasons why I wanted to go, and it was no effort to go. So well done, girls. Where to from here? Okay, what I'd like you to do, if you want some more information, if you found this valuable, is to subscribe to my live video updates on my Facebook page. If you want to like my Facebook page, which is facebook.com, social media for small business owners, I would really appreciate that. And you can also join my group, which is facebook.com/groups, again, social media for small business or for small biz owners. Join my group, have a look at the files and the videos section. I'm always putting stuff up there because it's always changing. The scope and the face of Facebook. Sorry, that was bad pun. The landscape of Facebook is changing all the time, and it is really quite exciting, some of the stuff that's coming up, and my goal is to keep across you can't possibly keep across it all, and I aim to bring you the latest, greatest, and the latest news as it is being as it's coming up. Oh, I don't know what's happened there. Okay, oops, I want to go back. No. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Click to answer. Oh, there we go. Let's go back. Where to from here? The other thing I'd like, if you're interested in subscribing to my newsletter, because I will be putting information in there as well as information about webinars and workshops that I'm running. And you're welcome to come along to my workshops, and in my Facebook page and in my groups, there are details about the workshops that I have in the events section. So, without further ado, I hope you found this of value, and I'm more than happy to talk to you further about it if you want to know more, or if I can help you be of service at any way, shape, or form. Please PM me and through either the page, the group, my messenger, my personal profile. I'd love to be connected with you. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.